Telugu ప్రేక్షకులందరికీ hello and welcome to yet another fabulous episode of our talk show with experts. మనతో ఉన్న మన immigration expert Rahul Reddy garu. Rahul garu, thank you so much for being on the show today, Andy.
Thanks, Nitya garu, for inviting.
Great. And you can always call our expert Rahul garu at 1-833-882-8872. The number again is 1-833-882-8872. Watch us on Yup TV, Facebook, YouTube, Sling TV, World BB TV, and Dish Network. All right, Rahul garu, today's topic, a game changer. I don't know if this is true or not true, or if it's already going on, but says USCIS grants a 5-year EAD and advanced parole for AOS pending applicants. Rahul garu, this sounds like music to my ears and also sounds too good to be true, but I want to hear it from the horse's mouth. What is going on, Andy?
Yes, it is true. We have been receiving EADs from 5 years. Remember, back in your time, it was only 1 year. Every time you have to file the EAD extensions.
Yes.
Now, of course, in between, they made it 2 years. In the past 4-5 years, they made it 2 years. Now, they're telling it's 5 years. Not only they're telling it, they're approving the EADs, they're approving the advance for 5 years. That means that once you get the approval, then you don't have to go back there for the next 5 years.
Oh my God.
Yes. Yeah. So that's a really good thing. But I tell people though, hey guys, don't forget to renew it because you're going to sleep on the 5-year EAD and APs. You'll forget to renew it. Yes, this reduces a lot of burden on the USCIS. This reduces a lot of burden on the USCIS. This reduces a lot of burden on everybody, on the individual. They're not charging any filing fees for these things. Why do they need to give 1-year approvals? This is a very good strategic thing that they did by giving the 5-year EAD and 5-year advance for approval. And going forward, they may, we have seen some combo cards at this point of time for 5 years. We have seen some standalone EAD approvals for 5 years. We have seen some standalone advance approvals also for 5 years, which is also good news. So going forward, this is going to be a boon for a lot of individuals.
Although I've got my GC now, I'm suddenly jealous of all the people who are getting their JDs now.
Sorry, you're not eligible for this.
I know.
Typically, green card is valid for 10 years. You have to give it to get the citizenship. Here, this is very good actually.
Yeah, no, this is great. And Rahul, what prompted this change, Andy? What do you think led to this sudden
delays and unnecessary work for the USCIS? They know that especially for the 485 applications for the employment-based, it's going to take a long time for them to adjudicate these applications. Why not give them the 5 years adjustment of status? This also is applicable to family-based immigration. Sometimes that takes a long time for them to adjudicate, more than 2 years for them to adjudicate. Just give them the EAD and then don't deal with these individuals for the next 5 years. Hopefully by that time they'll get a green card and then they don't have to even deal with them on renewing the EAD and advance holds. So this reduces the amount of work that is required, and they can use the resources of this fund for other things. For example, H4 EAD. H4 EAD you cannot approve for 5 years technically because it's only for the period of time the H1B is valid. So they can use those resources for those people instead of you giving 1-year advance parole, 1-year advance parole. Oh, come on, just give 5 years and then done with this guy, and then go ahead deal with the other things which are more important, which are because USCIS from the beginning has been from the time this administration has been, they're trying to use the resources a little bit more efficiently, which is good news for a lot of people.
Got it. So this is not good news. This is great news. This is in fact fantastic news, and in especially a long time now, given we've been continuously hearing things that are not really panning out the way we want. I think this is a great step towards streamlining immigration on the whole. So thank you so much for that. And Rahul, that was going to be my next question. So H4 EADs, this thing is not applicable. This 5-year thing is not really applicable.
No, because H4 EAD cannot be given for 5 years. It can only be given up to a maximum of 3 years, and that too based on the limitation of the spouse's H1B approval though. So it's only for adjustment of status and family immigration. There are a couple of other things they have streamlined recently, Nitya garu.
Okay.
One thing is that they stopped taking the biometrics for the F1 applicants. They've stopped taking the biometrics for the B2 applicants. And of course, we already know that they stopped taking biometrics for the H4 extensions and H4 transfers from a long time, but they also started using that for these people too. So this that reduces a lot of energy of the immigration to adjudicate the applications.
Wonderful, Andy. So good to hear that. Thank you, Rahul Garu. Anything else you'd like to add before we start taking our callers, Andy?
No, we can take the callers.
Okay. All right. Let's take our first caller for the day. So exciting. So exciting. Okay. All right. First caller for the day. Caller with number ending in 9386. 9386. We're ready for you now. Hello?
Yes, I'm ready. Hello?
Hi, sir. Thank you for calling, Andy. We can hear you, sir. Please go ahead.
Thank you.
I am ready. My last name is REDDY. What's your last name? You're ready too? Okay.
Sir, this is the ready show, Andy. You know, for all those who are...
Actually,
Go ahead.
Actually, I'm watching your YouTube channel video. I did not be able to focus on cell phone quickly.
Okay, no problem.
No worries, sir. Go ahead with your question, sir.
Okay. And Nitya garu and Rahul garu. A question andi, naku H1B visa is approved on Pleasanton address, one Pleasanton Stream address in San Francisco. But my family is staying in Irvine in the Los Angeles. Can I apply an H4 visa in Los Angeles address?
You can. I don't see any problem. But you are staying in San Francisco, is that right? You're not staying in Irvine addresses, right?
Yes. Now currently my job is remote, Andy. I'm staying in Pleasanton sometime and coming back to Irvine and going back to San Francisco in the same address. I'm staying with my brother address in the over there.
My issue would be that if the USCIS finds out that you're working in Irvine address, it's going to create a problem for you because you don't have an LCA for Irvine address. What I would suggest you to do is to apply for the H1B amendment that includes the San Francisco and Irvine address.
Oh, I'll say it in that.
Yeah, you can file an amendment. You can have multiple addresses on the LCA. You don't need to have one address though. Normally when we do, people like, let's say for example, your job is in San Francisco, sometimes you have to go to San Francisco, and sometimes you work at home, we normally keep both the addresses though. So the reason is that we in United States, so we do not count cyberspace as a space though. None of the governments consider cyberspace as a space. I don't know of any government, not Indian government, not US government. So when your butt is sitting in Irvine, let's call it Los Angeles, which I know is very close to, so you can't have an LCA from San Francisco and work in LA though. That is a violation. So I would recommend you apply for an amendment of the H1B, including the Los Angeles location, and add your wife's H4 extension along with it.
లేదండి I'm working in Pleasanton అండి, but I'm working in Pleasanton address. I'm staying with my brother address. అక్కడే నాకు H1 visa అప్రూవ్ అయిందండి. కాకపోతే మా సన్ ఇక్కడ Irvine జాయిన్ అవడం వల్ల మా ఫ్యామిలీ మూవ్ అయ్యారు.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, that only your wife is staying and you are not staying, okay, then you can file with Irvine address H4, not a problem. Not a problem. Okay?
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you so much, Andy.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for calling, Andy. All right, let's take our next caller.
I want to take occasion and tell all the people that if you are working at home and your home location is not covered in the LCA for which the H1B has been filed. So let's say if it's San Francisco and your home is LA though, you cannot work in LA. You have to get an amendment. I just want to remind people.
Okay.
Go to the next person.
And this includes even if you're working like a couple of days at home, at home and stuff like that.
If it's like a vacation, let's say for example, you went to India to visit your cousin and you're staying there 3-4 days, absolutely not a problem. Especially if your wife is staying in LA and you are staying in San Francisco. I know how that works out. You don't visit your wife, you stay with your wife a lot of times. So that's where I require an amendment. If you're just visiting your cousin in Colorado and staying there for 3 days or 5 days, I don't have a problem with it.
Got it. Got it. Okay. Thank you, sir. Let's take our next caller. Okay. Caller with number ending in 1648. 1648. We're ready for you now. Hello?
Hi, Niche garu.
Yes, sir.
Hi, Rahul. Rahul, are you able to hear me?
Yes, we're able to hear you. Thank you for calling, sir. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. Thanks for taking my call. First of all, I would like to thank both of you for tremendous service to the community. I've been watching your shows from past 2 years. I have a quick question, Rahul garu. So last year, in the month of June, my company filed a 485. I got my AP and EAD. I'm still on H1B. So recently, my company filed interfile. I mean, they did the transfer of underlying basis to EB3. It happened like 10 days before. My question is like, two things. Like one, if I want to move to other company now, and the second thing is if my company did a layoff, what are my options in this case? Assuming my company don't cancel my...
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Don't cancel your what?
Go ahead, Rahul.
Yeah, it's been more than 6 months that you filed the 485 application. You already have an EAD, you have an advanced parole. They filed adjustment of status in EB2 and they converted it to EB3. If they lay off, you can go and join another company. Absolutely not a problem. Absolutely not a problem. And do they need to file the 485J supplement immediately? I would not. So if you are working with ABC Consulting Company, Inc., and now you're going to join XYZ Consulting Company, Inc., I would not file a 485J supplement unless there is an RFE asking for it, unless you are being called for the USC for an interview, then I will take the 485J supplement saying that I'm working with XYZ, not ABC. Okay? So you don't need to do that right now. So you can move the company, absolutely not a problem.
Perfect. Yeah, I can move the company with my with my EAD, and they don't need to file 485J immediately. Once I got any RFE
no, sir. That is right. But remember, I was telling the H1B amendment need to be filed. That need to be filed before you go to Los Angeles. Okay, not after you go. In this case, the 485J supplement doesn't need to be filed before you join the company or at the time you join the company. Only if there's an RFE or an interview, you can file it. It's optional. Some of the companies will say we will file it. That's fine too. Nothing wrong with it.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, thanks, Rahul. The 485J filing and interfiling will not reset the 180-day rule.
No, it does not reset the 180 days. No, it does not reset the 180 days. We'll go to the next person.
But yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, Andy. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for calling, Andy. Okay. All right, let's take our next caller. Perfect. Caller with number ending in 8122. 8122. We're ready for you now. Hello.
Good evening. Thanks
Hi,
for
sir.
taking my call.
Sure,
Yeah,
sir.
hi. So this
Hi,
is Vishnu. My priority date is November 2010 in AB2. I got my GCAD AP on July 2021. So before getting my EAD, USCIS visited my home and they asked about my previous experience, job duties, and the end client contact details. So I submitted everything, at the time. Then after that, I got my EAD. But since last 2.5 years, there is no movement in my case. So I requested my...
What is your priority date?
Yeah, I reached the prior date is 2010 November.
That's correct. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it is current, last 2.5 years. So I requested my senator to speed up my case. Then USCIS has replied like they can make a decision within 2 months. Okay. So then what happened last week, my employer got a call from USCIS field office, San Francisco, asking about my job offer and the previous clients contact details and the client details. So we submitted again. Okay, but my question is here, it is a normal process, like they're asking about my end client contact details. Even they called, okay, one of the manager, I know him, he said they called to that manager.
Are you on H1B? Are you on H1B?
Yeah, I'm on H1B still, yeah.
But did they call for the EAD or did they call for the H1B? Do you know that?
No, they called for green card. They clearly told actually.
Okay, yeah. There are one or two officers that I know in San Francisco that go over and beyond the requirement for the adjudication of the 485 application. I know in San Francisco there are a couple of officers there. It's not their duty to look into the end client at this point of time. I don't know why they are looking into. There were some RFPs also we received from San Francisco office on that. We responded very harshly and we gave the information, but we told them it's not their duty to look into these details at this point of time and adjudicate the application. And we said that by any chance, any unfavorable decision comes in, this is right for the court litigation. We threatened them. We got those 485 approved faster though. I don't know why they are, but at this point of time though, what I would suggest you to do it, if your prior date is 2010 and it's been more than 2 years that your 485 has been pending, I want you to sue the USCIS. You can contact Stephen Brown in our office in Ready and MNTC, not me, and he can take you to the court.
Okay.
And that's better way of adjudicating. You tried the senator, that doesn't work. Ombudsman, that doesn't work. If those things don't work, and these people are dilly-dallying into, we were being inquired about the end client at the time when you filed the H1B. We were being filed about the end client at the time you filed the H1B extension. You were being inquired at the time when you filed a H1B amendment. Who are these people to look into? How does it matter whether you are working with the end client right now? What if you're working with them? That's none of their job right now on EAD to inquire whether you have those things. They're just dilly-dallying and delaying it. These officers need to be dealt very strongly.
So last 14 years I am working with the same employer. Okay, so I worked almost all 10 clients here. So, but my projects are 1 year or 2 years. In between the projects, there is a gap, like 1 month, 2 months. Is it fine?
That's fine.
Even my LCA will have 2 addresses. Okay. Yeah, my LCA will have 2 addresses always. One is my client location, and another is my employer. Okay. So
I don't see any problem in that thing. I want this officer to be dealt properly. I want you to take it to the court for the delay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay then.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for calling, sir. All
Thank
right.
you.
We have a couple of officers in Boston office, couple of officers in San Francisco office that are going a little bit overbroad on that. We dealt with them and they're issuing a lot of RFPs and give us the end client, give us all the information. That's really not their duty. But anyway, go ahead and take it.
Yeah. All right, sir. Just a couple of questions from YouTube before we get back to our callers, Andy. Rahul Garu, this is a question from Raghavendra Gorkal, says, if we have used GCEAD and have an H1B extension renewal next December of 2024, can we still extend the H1B extension after using the GCEAD?
I don't know what exactly GCEAD using means, but technically if you're working for the company that has the H1B at this point of time and you want to extend the H1B, I don't see any problem with it. Okay. If the H1B is with company X and you're still working with company X and you want to extend with company X, you can, even though you may have used the GCEAD.
Got it. Okay. Makes sense. All right. Question from Prabhu says, I'm holding an AOS EAD advanced parole, EB3 and EB2 categories with the same employer. So far, I haven't used, still on H1B. EB3 EAD and advanced parole will expire next week. Do I need to keep on renewing both EB3 and EB2 EAD and advanced parole till I get a GC?
You don't have to. It's up to you if you want to. The major reason why I may suggest you to apply for both the things is a couple of major reasons. One, it's free. It doesn't charge any. Second thing is sometimes we are seeing a gap in advanced parole approvals though, that is hindering the travel opportunity to the people. So for that reason, I may request you to apply for the extensions for both. And then the third reason, now we got the new reason, is the 5 years of EAD in advanced parole extension.
Exactly.
So that's the reason why you may want to extend it. But is it absolutely required to renew both the things? Absolutely not.
Okay. So when you're in adjustment of status, then you really don't need to have an active EAD or advanced parole at that time, sir? Is that correct? Or to get your
not
green card?
exactly though. He already, first of all, this guy has H1B. That's what he's maintaining, the H1B.
Correct.
Okay. Then he has an EAD from adjustment of status too. From he
Right.
filed in EB3 and EB2. So this is a third one he has.
Correct.
That's the reason I am saying him it's not required to have a 3E.
Okay.
H1B, one adjustment of status and second adjustment of status EAD. Now, if he doesn't have any adjustment of status EAD, I would have said you better keep one EAD. Okay, that's for sure.
Okay.
So it's very little bit different than yours because you only filed one adjustment of status in Telugu. So I would have advised, irrespective of whether using the EAD or not, go for the EAD extension. I would have told. But this guy has two adjustment of status and has an EAD too. That's the reason I'm saying it's not required.
Okay. So in case it's expired also, if say the EB3 priority dates move ahead, then can he still get his green card if he's still not
Absolutely he can.
active?
Absolutely.
Oh,
he can.
okay.
So there is no
Got
even, it's nothing like this EADs. If you don't extend the EAD, you won't get the green card. Absolutely, that's not true. Even though you don't extend, if your priority date is current, you can request. The other thing is that some people ask the question, if the EAD and advance parole has expired for this gentleman, for example, it's expiring next month for me, it is expired. Can he then apply for the EAD and advance parole at a later date, or does he lose the opportunity to apply for the EAD and advance parole? He can apply for EAD and advance parole later on also, absolutely not a problem.
Okay.
So if it expires in November, and then he is in December right now, can he still file a EAD in advance parole? He can still.
Okay, but can he still travel outside the country on his H1 and then come back and apply for his?
Absolutely, he can travel on
Okay.
H1B. He can even travel on the other advance parole too.
Other advance parole. Okay, got it. Okay, yeah. So he's got like every permutation combination possible then that he can use.
There is a joke I keep saying that one guy purchased 2 tickets. And one he kept in the left pocket and one in the right pocket. And the guy asked, well, why did you purchase 2 tickets? He said, like, if I lose 1 ticket, I will have another ticket.
Have another one.
And this guy asked the question, what if you lose the 2 tickets? What will you do at that point of time? And that guy says, do you think so? I'm a fool. I have a bus pass, and he showed the bus pass.
Oh.
So that's, so this guy, that's the reason I said, no, he doesn't need to have all 3 of those things. Yeah. Go ahead, Nitya, with the questions. Looks like we're having some technical difficulty. A question that is coming from Abhi, I'm just reading out until Nitya will get back. Question from Abhi is that my passport is expiring in 1 year. Can I still get an EAD for 5 years? Absolutely you can. Absolutely you can. I got an EAD for 2 years, which was approved on September 28th. Will I get my I-131 for 5 years as they're allowing for from October 1st? Yes, there is a chance that you may get a 5 years of advance parole approval. There is a chance that you may get a 5 years of advance parole approval, even though your EAD is only for 1 year. Even though EAD is only for 2 years, you can still get an advance parole for 5 years.
Okay. Sorry, Rahul. I just had some technical issue.
I was just answering a couple of YouTube questions while you were away.
Okay. Great. Awesome, Andy. Thank you, sir. Let's take our next caller, Andy. Okay, caller with number ending in 2799. 2799. We're ready for you now. Hello.
Hi, Andy. Good evening.
Sir.
Bonner Indra. Sir, my question is, my wife started using GC EAD, Andy. So, nenu EAD renewal ka apply chestunanu. There's a question. What is your current immigration status? Em pettali ikkada? What should I mention?
Her status or your status?
Her status, and I'll come to my question. Yeah, her current immigration status after using GC EAD.
So, what about the H4 though? It is expired?
Yeah, H4 expired last year, and she started using GCEAD from this year.
What is the current status? Pending adjustment of status. Pending AOS. Okay.
Pending AOS. That is what I have to mention. Okay, sir.
Yes.
Coming to my situation, sir. I got H1 approved on April 4th, but I traveled to Bahamas on 7th. Even though I got the new I-94, even before the travel and after the travel, I did not see any update on CBP online. And then, so what is my status at this time? I'm also with an employer on H1B.
Yeah, sometimes they call it as not a meaningful departure from the United States, and they don't update the I-94, so you can use your status as whatever you got the H1B approval. You're good.
Okay, I can just mention H1B and provide. Do I need to provide any supporting documentation for H1, sir, like payslips or something like that? Should I do, or because it's C9?
If you're if you're applying for an EAD, though, you do not have to apply. You do not have to show your pay stubs. You do not have to show the employment letter, vendor letter. Nothing. Absolutely not required. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Only current EAD is fine with 485 receipt.
Yes, sir. And an I-140 approval. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
If you have it. Thank you.
I-140 approval also, sir?
If you have it. If you have it.
Okay, sir. Sir, I also have EB2 485, but I never applied for EAD or AP in that. So can I continue to renew the EB3 version?
You can continue EB3 extensions. Even if you didn't apply for EAD in advance for EB21, you can still apply right now, even if you want to. Okay.
Okay, I never applied for EAD or AP in EB2, though I applied
you
for
can
EB5.
still
So
you can still apply if you want to.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Okay. Okay.
You both have a pleasant evening, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for calling in. Okay, let's take our next caller.
There you go, Nitika. There's another gentleman with 2 tickets and 1 bus pass. Okay. Money for us.
All right. Caller with number ending 9998. We're ready for you now. Hello.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Hello, sir. Yes, sir. We can hear you, sir. Please go ahead.
Hello. Hello, Rahul sir. I have this question. I'm getting mixed responses. My H1B I-797 expires on January 2025.
Mm-hmm.
I got my new passport on August 2023. My old one expired in August. So my I-94 and then my visa, stamped visa and my passport also expired. And
in January.
do I need to
August?
get
Okay.
in July 2023, sir? Yeah.
Okay. Keep going.
So when I asked the CBP officer, he said I don't need to get a new I-94. Whatever is on the I-797, that's the validity date you can follow.
Okay,
so,
wait. When did you last came into United States?
So I came last December 2022.
In December 2022, when you came in, until what time the I-94 was given online?
The current expired one, like July 2023.
And after December 2022, did you ever extend your I-94 or H1B status?
No, it was same, my previous I-797.
You are not in legal status right now. You will have to, you already renewed your passport, is right now?
Yes.
Okay, you're not in legal status right now. You need to contact a lawyer. There are ways where you can go to Mexico and rectify this problem. Okay?
Okay. So my attorney said technically I should have the I-94 expiration date as per my old passport expiration date. But she said we can also apply for a non-proton petition with the USCIS.
Don't do that. Because non-protunct is you're telling that you are not lawfully in this country and requesting them to pardon you for being not lawfully in the United States. And by the time it gets extension, it may create a problem. Your passport, your I-94 is expiring in January of 2024, is that right? So all you need is that you go to Mexico and then you have a margarita and you come back. That will be much easier, much cheaper, much better, much less time, and much less riskier for you to do it rather than going with non-protunct. That's my opinion, okay? Can you do non-protunct? Yes, but that's not a right step for you to do it. We'll go to the next caller.
So one thing. So to go to Mexico, do I need to have valid visa on my
I would recommend you contact a lawyer. You don't need a passport visa to go there. It's called automatic revalidation. You can discuss with a lawyer. It's called automatic. We have made many discussions on that, but I would want you, because you're not in legal status right now, I want you to handle this a little bit more sensitively rather than getting an answer on the YouTube live or a TV live. I want you to discuss with a lawyer, go through with the lawyer thoroughly. But the best approach is not non-protunct, but to go to Mexico. We'll go to the next caller.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for calling, sir. All the best. Okay. Let's take
I want to
yes,
take
sir.
the occasion. I want to take the occasion and teach other people that please watch the I-94 online. If the I-94 says July 2023 and you entered in December, that means that you can only stay until July 2023. Now, once you come into United States, if you file an extension and you got the I-797 approval for, let's say, 2026, and then online, it still says July 2023 though, it's fine. They don't update the online thing. But make sure that the extension is being applied after you entered into the United States in next 90. And why you cannot rely, if your H-1B approval is until January 2024, when you entered into the United States, why would they give the I-94 only until July of 2023? The main reason is that your passport, not passport visa, your passport might have been expiring in July though. So this is the most common way where we see people going into not in legal status. This is the most common thing and this can be easily avoided. Now, for all those people who are listening to us right now, we just want you to go to check online to I-94. You know how to go to the CBP online and check the status. Now, please don't be worried that after you entered into the United States, if you extended it, it won't show up online. Don't worry about it. But you must extend it after coming into the United States, before the I-94 expires.
Okay, got it. Okay, that makes sense, sir. Thank you. Let's take our next caller, Randy. Okay, caller with number ending in 0239. 0239, we're ready for you now. Hello?
Yeah, hi. Thank you for taking my call.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes.
Go ahead,
Sir, I'm on. Yes. Sir, I am on H4 and planning to file H4 EAD. My current passport and my I-797 has my dad's name as my middle name. So I'll be renewing my passport soon, and I'll be including my husband's name in the passport. So my question is, will my H4 EAD be issued with my new updated name, or will it have the name that I had while entering US?
You can have the new EAD issued with your married name, not a problem now. Even though at the time when you entered, you have a different middle name or different name, since now you have changed the passport, you will have no problem, none whatsoever at all, in getting the EAD with your married name. Approximately about 1 billion people in the whole world change their names very similar to yours. And the USCIS understands that as long as you need to enclose a marriage certificate for everything. So when you enclose a marriage certificate, that they will take it to change the name. That is an authority for them to change the name. Okay? Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for calling in.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. All right, Rahul Garu, I just want to take a couple of questions, Andy. I'm not sure what is the last question you took, sir, because I was offline for a minute, but
somewhere in between I took it. You can go with the proper order.
There's a question from Abhi. He says, if my passport is expiring in 1 year, will they still give an EAD for 5 years?
Yes, they will. They will.
Okay.
They will.
Saurabh says, my priority date is EB3 2014 India, but I was called for an interview which went well. After the interview, the status of 485 changed to CRP, pausing until visa is available. Not sure what does that mean.
Case remain pending. Yeah, that's everything. That means that 485 interviews can be done even when the priority date is not correct. That's perfectly all right. So if it says case remains pending right now because of the priority date backlog, that's the best thing that can happen to him right now, because they technically cannot give him the green card though. Since they cannot give him the green card and they didn't deny the 485 application, which can happen sometimes, so everything is good for him. That's a perfect way that where he should be.
Okay. Sir, also a couple of questions on this EAD and advanced parole thing. There's a question from Venkat Gaddam. He says, I got an EAD for 2 years, which was approved on September 28th. Will I get my I-131 for 5 years as it really?
He can get it. Even though his EAD is only for 1 or 2 years, he can still get an advanced parole for 5 years.
5 years, okay. And a similar question from Sam also. Says my AOS is pending but got the EAD, so do I have any chance of getting a combo card for 5 years?
He already got the EADs, right?
He says he's got an EAD. So, but he cannot get a combo card for 5 years until it's time for renewal, Kada? Is that right?
That's right. Yeah, that's right. He can't get a combo card unless it's a time for renewal.
Okay.
Now, one thing I want to elaborate though. The USCIS is going to interpret the EADs a little bit more stricter, mostly. I mean, it's not mandatory that they have to give 5 years, but most of the time, 95% of the time though, they would give an EAD for 5 years. Now, the advanced parole, we just started seeing 5 years right now. And it's not been that long time. I don't know if they would give the 5 years universally for all the advanced paroles. We don't know yet. Now, at the same time, do we have any claim to go after the USCIS? Hey, you didn't give me the 5 years? No, unfortunately not.
Okay. All right. This is another question, sir, from Ramesh Patil. He says, I have a GC EAD and my wife is on H4. If I use EAD for Uber driving and don't inform my H1 sponsor, will USCIS know I do not want to lose my spouse's H4 status?
Yeah, the spouse loses the H4 status if you start using the EAD. I'm assuming the spouse is not included in the 485 application. Maybe you're not married at this point of time, in which case I do not want to use the EAD. In which case I do not want to use the EAD and lose the H1B status, because then your wife will lose the H4 status.
Got it. Okay.
But if your wife is already in adjustment of status and she already got an EAD, I don't see a reason why you have to keep maintaining the H1B.
Okay, got it. Thank you, sir. All right. Question from Yogita Shinde. She says, I have filed 485 in 2021. Dates retrogressed. If assuming next month dates become current, can I sue the USCIS since my application has been pending for more than 2 years?
Yeah, I would want you to wait for at least 30 or 40 days to see if they would adjudicate. I know that's a very crucial time, because most of the cases, some of the cases they do adjudicate. I mean, you can avoid the expenditure of going to suing the USCIS. So see for 30 or 40 days. If it still does not go, I definitely want you to take that action at that time.
Okay. Question from Nikita Kannam says, converted from H4 to F1 and I went directly from undergrad to master's without doing my STEM OPT. I'm graduating from my master's soon. Can I use my undergrad STEM OPT plus my master's STEM OPT?
No, unfortunately not.
I remember you mentioning this last time also.
Yeah. You skip the line, that's good, but no, you won't get 2 years of OPT and 4 years of STEM extension. No, you won't.
Okay, got it. All right. PS says my GCEAD is due in next May 2024. With the new rule, will it be automatically renewed or will I have to apply for renewal?
You have to apply for renewal. There's no automatic renewal, buddy. Now, now there is a little bit. What is an automatic?
Wishful thinking.
Yeah, there is people use the automatic renewal, and I will tell you when the automatic renewal is. Let's say, for example, if your EAD is expiring in January of 2024, you file the extension, you get the receipt notice, though. You are entitled to work even after the expiration for a period of time, though. That's called automatic renewal, though. But it doesn't mean that you don't file. You still need to file.
Got it. Okay. Thank you, sir. Let's take caller now. Okay, caller with number ending in 4708. 4708, we ready for you now? Hello?
Hello.
Hi, ma'am. Thank you for calling. Go ahead with your question, ma'am.
Yeah. Yeah. Hi. So, hello, sir. How are you?
Hi. Good.
Yes.
Go ahead, ma'am.
I have a question. So, yeah. So, I was a green card holder. So, my dad and my mom, they're U.S. citizens. My brother works for the Air Force. So, I came in 2003 here, and I left the country in 2009. So after 14 years, I came back in June with my family, B1, B2 Mida, because my Nanakar poyaru. So I just wanted to come back, and I'm trying to reinstate and see possibilities how I can reinstate my green card, or what can be done in the process.
You cannot reinstate the green card. If you have left the country in 2009, you have returned right now. That's a 14-year gap, though. You cannot reinstate the green card, though. But there are a couple of things. How did you get the green card in 2003?
Family-based. My daddy.
I know, but your dad is a U.S. citizen. He filed for your application. What about your mom? Okay, your mom has to, and are you married right now?
Yes, sir. I have a 10-year-old kid.
Okay. So your mom has to file an application for you, and you will have to go through the application process. Your brother can file, your mom can file. But that waiting period is approximately about 8 or 9 years for you to get the green card, though. Let me check exactly what is the time period right now. Yeah, you will have to go through it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's about almost 10 years for you to get the green card through that process. Now, is there a way we can resurrect the priority date of your dad when he filed? I don't think so, but I can take a look into a little bit more closer whether we can resurrect the date, because that's an immediate relative. When your dad filed, you were under 21, unmarried at that time. Is that right? So that's called immediate relatives. So immediate relatives, there is no priority date. So for these family-based third preference, if you're married, though, the waiting period is actually 13 years right now. Yeah, the waiting period is 13 years right now.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
So, naku oka question, sir. Nenu oka attorney through vellanu. So they tried for FOIAs and all, and they said that my green card status is still active, and they're suggesting to go with renewal.
No, you can't do that. That's fraud. Because the green card, it's a status. It's a fraud. It's fraud. You don't do that. Green card is only given for you to stay in United States. Green card is not green card, though. It's called as permanent resident of United States. That means that you have to stay in United States permanently. And if you do violate it, you have to get the permission. Whenever you leave the country for more than 1 year, you have to get the permission from USCIS for you to stay outside the country for more than 1 year. So no, I would not renew the green card. Okay? We'll go to the next person.
Okay, sir. Sorry. Can Yeah, so my husband ఇప్పుడు so we all came on B1 B2. మా husband ది so change of status పెట్టుకున్నాం సార్ F1 ది అది అప్రూవ్ అయింది.
What about your F2? What about your F2? You and your child F2?
మా అబ్బాయిది ఇంకా పెండింగ్ ఉంది సార్ F2 పెట్టుకున్నాము. నేను ఇంకా పెట్టలేదు బికాజ్ అటెండెన్స్ వెళ్ళాం కాబట్టి.
Okay, got the point.
నేను ఇంకా పెట్టుకోలేదు సార్. సో you suggest I just go with the F2 first?
Absolutely, go with F2. Go with F2.
Okay. Okay. Okay, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for calling in.
Nitya garu, I don't.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I want to take an occasion to tell the other people that don't burn the bridges. So what happens is that in whatever temptation that they have, they let their green card go, and now look at the way they have to. The husband has to come here, has to apply for the F1, and then they have to go with the H1, and then they have to file the green card. You had all these things before, you let it go. I mean, I don't know whether only these people will come to me, but I suggest people don't burn the bridges, don't let the green card go just like that and suffer it later on. Okay?
Yeah. Got it.
We'll go to the next person.
I'm going to just take a few more questions from our live chat viewers as well. Tukesh Joshi, is it possible to get the renewal license for a period beyond their H1B work permit or GC-EAD validity? In a sense, I mean getting the EAD license greater than 5 years.
Oh, you mean to say EAD license, you mean to say?
I think he's talking about getting a DMV license for a period of...
That depends on the state where you live in. For example, Texas and Arizona are very strict in the things though. But yeah, if you go to Seattle and all those things, you don't need any driving, you don't need any H1B or you don't need any EAD to get the driving license there. So yeah, for the most of the states though, it will depend on EAD or H1B. So even though, this is a good point that he brought in though, if you have an EAD for 5 years, you definitely can get an driving license for 5 years. And those people who are using the EAD, are they getting married with this EAD by using the EAD for the driving license? No, you're still not. You're still meeting the H1B.
Correct. Okay, got it. Okay. Question. Everything's moving. Okay, so Sagar Rena says, what are the chances of approval of EB1B compared to EB1A? We did talk about this.
Yeah. EB1B, if you have the qualifications, assumingly, the standard for EB1B is way lower than that of EB1A.
Mm-hmm.
The minus point for EB1B is that only employer can file it. And you must be in the research field though. Those, there's a lot of other things required, but the main things I'm pointing out though. So if you are eligible for it though, I would want to knock out the EB1B first, get the EB1B approval. If later on though, if you want to be independent though, you can still file a EB1A approval by yourself. But if you get a chance to get the EB1B, please get it. Between EB1A and EB1B, if I were to give it a choice, I always will choose EB1B because it's easy to get an approval from.
Got it. Sir, quick question on this EB1B thing. If I were to have a company with, one branch in India and one branch here, can I sponsor an EB1B for myself? Saying that I'm just curious.
There is two things, Sandy. EB1A, EB1B, and EB1C.
Okay.
EB1A is extraordinary ability. That means that the person is above and extraordinary.
Nobel Peace Prize winner type.
Right.
Nobel Prize.
There are a lot of other qualifications that are.
Right.
So nowadays, EB1A approvals are coming very, very easier than what we thought before.
Okay.
Now, that's for EB1A. EB1B is outstanding researcher, not just a researcher, but outstanding researcher. EB1B is mostly for the doctorate people who are working in research organizations. So now, there are exceptions there. I'm just telling it easier. EB1C is multinational executive. That means that you must have an organization outside the country, let's say in India, and you must have an organization here in United States. And you must have worked with the outside the country for at least 1 year before you came into United States. So just because you are working with Coca-Cola, Nitya Garu, and Coca-Cola has a company in India too, of course, we know that, you can't get an EB1C, no. You must have worked for Coca-Cola India, and then you're working for Coca-Cola USA. Then you have an option of getting an EB1A.
Okay.
Sorry, EB1C.
Okay, EB1C. And what if I have my own company that's set up here as well as in India? Does that help me qualify for an EB1C?
Yes, if it meets the requirement for the EB1C, even though you are the owner of the company, even though you are CEO of the company, you are eligible for EB1C. Now, this is very surprising. A lot of people will say, oh, can be an owner and then sponsor of the green card? That's allowed only in EB1C. There are a lot of conditions that in EB1B and EB1C, you being the owner will be a problem. But when it comes to EB1C though, it does not create any problem. EB2 and EB3 does.
Got it. Okay. That makes sense. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. All right, let's take our next caller. Okay, caller number ending in 4060. 4060, we're ready for you now. Hello?
Yeah, hi, thanks for taking my call.
Sure, sir.
I have a question on this H1B and EAD. Okay, let me tell my scenario. I'm on, okay, give me 1 second. Okay, so my H1B got extended recently for till 2026. And then also I have a GCEAD till 2025. Okay, these are coming through my wife. My wife's prior date is October 2014. Okay, so technically, I'm a full-timer on H1B with one company. Can I do, can I work on EAD with another company, or can I set up my own company and then work for that? And 6 months, can I resign for this H1B job and work full-time for this company? And what are the chances me losing the EAD status if my wife changes the job, or if she moves to a different company? What are the chances?
You're a 485 dependent EAD. You can flip a burger in McDonald's, you can be a Microsoft CEO, you can be an Uber driver, you can be an immigration lawyer like me. In fact, I was an immigration lawyer on the 485 EAD. You can do anything you want to. Absolutely not a problem. And if you want to get the H1B back though, you can still get the H1B back by filing an H1B. You just have to go outside the country and get the H1B stamping. Can you start your own company? Absolutely you can. If your wife leaves the job and joins a different job, will you lose the EAD? No, you will not. You will still have it. As long as she's working somewhere else, that's fine. The only thing is that if you lose the relationship between you and your wife, that's a problem. But otherwise, I don't see any problem, none whatsoever at all for you. You can start your own company. You can do anything you want to. If your wife moves to a different company, absolutely not a problem. It's been more than 6 months that she filed a 485 application. Can she move a different company? Absolutely. Do you need to provide any of the evidence which company she's working when you renew the green card, when you renew the EAD? Absolutely not required.
Okay, good. Thank you very much. That's all.
I myself,
thank you, sir.
I myself were there in your status. I let my non-immigration status go, and I was working as an immigration lawyer on the 485 EAD, and I went for the 485 interviews with other people, and the guy asked me the question. The first time I went to the interview, the guy asked me the question, Rahul, when did you get the green card? I told him, I will tell you after the interview. I said, why is this guy telling you? And we went to the 485 interview and all those things. My client got the green card. And they asked me, Rahul, why didn't you tell me when you got the green card? I said, I don't have a green card yet. I'm working on 485 EAD. I didn't want to tell him earlier because he's going to get scared. It was very nervous for me because when I did the first interview, the guy's asking me when did you got the green card. So, Yeah, you can, absolutely. I don't say, you seems to be an entrepreneur enough, or you seems to, leave it and just start your own. That's perfectly all right. Okay?
Yeah, I mean, it's been 10 years, with, I've been a part of the company, but
it's been 10 years and we don't know it's going to be next 10 years. Who knows? Let your wife be slave somewhere, which, unfortunately we can't do much about it. At least you enjoy the freedom. Okay?
Great. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for calling, Andy. Rahul Garu, I have a few more questions, Andy. This is from Benhale Mutyala. Says, Rahul sir, what are the advantages of an EB2 petition versus an EB2 NIW petition for someone with country of birth as India? Priority date is 2023.
The only difference is that you will control the EB national interest waiver though. So EB2 will be under the control of an employer. EB2 regular will be under the control of the employer. EB2 national interest waiver, you will control it. You will take it wherever you go.
Okay.
So for example, if you're working with Microsoft, you have a labor and I-140 approval. That belongs to the Microsoft. You can still use it after 6 months that I-140 has been approved. You can extend the H-1B beyond for going to company B, company C, company D, and you can extend the EADs of your spouse. Absolutely not a problem. But when the time comes for getting the green card though, you must have an I-140 approval with a company that is going to file your 485 application. So now, 10 years later on, you don't have an I-140 approval with company B. You had a Microsoft I-140 approval. You can't file a 485 with company B. Now, when it's a national interest waiver, though, it's you are the boss.
Got it.
It's not the Microsoft who is the boss. So you're no longer working with Microsoft. You're working with some ABC company. Can you still file the 485 application with ABC company, even though the national interest waiver was filed when you're working with Microsoft? Absolutely, you can. That's the only difference.
Got it. Thank you, sir. All right, another question. This is from Saurabh. Says, in mine and my spouse's AOS notice, the spouse's AOS notice shows the priority date is 2019. And on my notice, the priority date field is left blank. I am the primary applicant, so the priority date should be considered as 2014. Should I be concerned?
Not at all. Not at all. Maybe your wife has her own I-140 approval. That could be chance that she got the priority date on their 485. Normally, this happens when you put the A number in the 485 application. They pull her priority date. But at this point of time, you do not have to worry. You do not have to contact the immigration. You're fine.
Okay, got it. Question from Pradeep Kumar. He says, EB3 EAD and advanced parole application extension is pending. Can I travel on my EB2 AP? Will USCIS deny the pending EB3 advanced parole application?
You can travel on advanced parole or whatever you have right now. Now, denying the advanced paroles when you travel is happening only when it is a first advanced parole application though. When it is when it is an extension though, we are not seeing that many denials. I would say less than 2% of the time we're seeing the denials of the extensions though. So at this point of time, since you have an advanced parole, go ahead and travel, absolutely not a problem. If by any chance the advanced parole gets denied, you can always refile it, not a problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Thank you, sir. All right, let's take our next caller. Okay, caller with number ending in 1056. 1056, we're ready for you now. Hello?
Hi, my name is Vasant actually. I call, I'm in green card EAD status right now. I recently got a reckless driving for speed, and attorneys are telling that I may get license revocation of 6 months. Is that going to affect my green card when I get the green card?
Where you've been charged with reckless driving or where you've been charged with DUI? Which one were you been charged? I know you're getting punished for reckless driving. But what were you being charged for?
Yeah, I am charged only for reckless driving, no DUI. I don't drink at all.
Oh, good for you. Will that cause, so yeah, if it's a reckless driving where your driving license is getting suspended for a period of that long period though, you have to report that to USCI. Yeah, you have to report that to USCIS. But will it cause any problem in getting the green card? Absolutely not. Okay.
How do I report to USCIS? Is there any form, or we just need to send a letter like that?
You can send, there's something called interfiling. You can report to them saying that here is a document. You'll send all the details to them. Get the certified copies. So get 6 certified copies. The reason is I tell people to get 6 certified copies is because you move out of that state or that district and later on you want to get it. It takes a lot of time for you to get 6 certified copies. Send one of it to the USCIS. It's called interfiling. You can do interfiling and say, look, I told you that I've been not been charged with any crime previously. Now I've been charged with this crime. So please consider this one. That's all you were going to say. Okay. But you will not have any problem getting it.
But if they sentence 1 day jail like that, is that a bigger problem for getting green card?
No, sir. It doesn't matter for us.
Oh, even with 1 day or 2 day jail for this type of ticket, it's okay. That's what you're telling?
That's perfect. Yeah, that's perfectly all right. You won't have any problem in getting a green card.
Oh, because it is not alcohol is not involved. Is that right?
Well, just because the DUI is there doesn't mean that the green card is not going to be issued. There are ways around it. But I know what you're saying, that if the prosecutor is giving you an option of 2 days jail versus 6 months of suspension of driving license, you want to take the 2 days jail, you can take the 2 days jail. It won't affect you. It'll be fine. You won't have any problem in getting a green card.
Thank you, Rahul. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for calling us, sir. All right, let's take our next caller.
We have a family friend, and I don't want to name her. Wherever we go, if somebody does anything bad, she says, that guy must be a drunkard. Then I get very irritated with it. I do drink alcohol sometimes, once in a week or so. And then next time I say, I see anybody doing any bad thing, I then say, that guy must be a vegetarian.
Oh my God.
Anyway, coming to the point, I want to explain to people, not all traffic tickets you need to report. It's only when this is a little bit major, it's a reckless driving, plus his driving license is getting suspended by about 6 months. So I didn't probe very much, so it must be a little bit major thing. That's a reason that because it's a crime charge. Now, even if traffic ticket is considered to be class C misdemeanor, but if this is a little bit major thing, that's the reason I want to report. If it's just a fine under $500, you don't have to report anything. You don't have to say that you've been charged with crime anywhere. You're good. But just this is a little bit more extreme. That's the reason I'm telling him to report to the USCIS. Okay.
And you said under such conditions also, it should not really impact his green card, right?
No. It's a reckless driving. Even if he goes to 2 days jail, it won't. I mean, they will ask the question about it, but will they deny the 485 application? No, they won't deny the application. There are certain crimes that are major, which are considered to be very bad for the immigration. There are certain crimes that probably are not that bad. For example, DUI. I'm not telling people to do or not. I'm not telling anything. I'm just telling the knowledge purposes though, is that it's not that major. But if it's a domestic violence though, you're gone. I mean, you're out. So certain things are very bad. So people need to understand that that's the reason. But in regular traffic tickets, you don't have to worry, guys. This guy is a little bit major thing. That's the reason I want him to report to the USCIS.
Okay, got it. Thank you, sir. Okay, let's take our next caller, Andy. Okay, caller with number ending in 3964. 3964, we're ready for you now. Hello? Caller with number ending in 3964. Hello?
Hello, ma'am. Good evening.
Hi, ma'am. Thank you for calling. Go ahead, ma'am.
Yeah. Good evening, sir. Good evening, Rahul, sir.
Good evening. Good evening.
I'm holding I'm holding my H-1B visa. So my of time is in, it's ending in May 2nd week, sir. So, my
2024.
employer, 2024. Yeah. So my employer said like they'll be filing the perm. So actually there was one document pending from my previous company to receive my skill letter, sir. So I just received my skill letter like last week. So if my employer filed a perm at this time, so what are the possibilities to stay after max out time, sir? Apart from that, like my husband got his H1 approved in 2023, sir.
First thing is that there is no way your labor certification and I-140 will be approved by May of 2024. Absolutely no way. I don't know at what stage your company is in filing it. If they have started the prevailing wage, it may take 2 years for you to get an I-140 approval. So I don't know why you choose to stay all along not filing the labor certification. You don't need the experience letter to file the labor certification. I don't know who in the hell is telling these people that you need an experience letter to file the labor certification. You need it at the time when you file the I-140 application. You don't need a skill letters if you draft the perm labor certification properly. If you draft it properly, you don't need the skill experience letters. So please don't come to me 5-6 months before. Come to me earlier. There are many different solutions that we have. But right now, let them process the labor certification. Now, main question is that what are you going to do after May of 2024? Since your husband has an H1B, the best option definitely is to go for the H4 option for you. Now, your husband, can he also file the labor and I-140 ASAP, please, and so that he doesn't come later on and convert it to H4?
Sir, my question is, sir, like if my employees file the perm and if it is under process and if I'm changing my status in the May, like H4, so since I will be having the H1 status, once my perm is approved, can I convert back to H1?
You can. Absolutely you can. Absolutely you can.
So do I need to leave the country, sir, after May, or no. I can stay on H1 visa?
You can stay on H4. You can stay on H4, and once the I-140 is approved with your company, you can switch back to H1.
Sure, sir. Thank you so much, sir. God bless you.
Thank you. One thing is that God may bless me, but what you need one more blessing that I want you to be knowledgeable about. Yes. You need the blessing of your employer. The reason is that if you leave the job in May, what if the employer says that I don't want to continue with the green card because this lady is no longer working for you? You need your employer's blessing, okay?
Yeah, sure, sir. Sure. I'll take it.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for calling, Andy. All right, folks. Rahul Garu, I have to say thank you so much, Andy. As always, very candid, very straightforward, and to the point, Andy. So on behalf of Telugu and all our viewers, I'd really like to thank you. I know I do this every week, but I sincerely can't thank you enough, Andy, for helping all of our viewers. And to all of our viewers also, thank you so much for calling in and coming with your questions, because it helps us answer your questions better. So please keep calling in. We will see you at the same time, same place next week. And until then, have a safe week and great week. Thank you and bye.
Thank you, Nitya. Thank you.